Welcome back to the MTL Sports Podcast. This is episode 42. This is a big episode, guys. We got a lot to cover today. So, of course, we got NFL Week 4 action to recap, even though we got Monday Night Football about to kick off in about an hour or so. But we'll break it down for you. And then, of course, we got some rapid fire to go over. NBA action, media day, but also we had a big trade happen over the weekend. The last saga of the Dame trilogy finally closed, so we'll go over that. Plus, we'll recap some college football that happened this past week. So, with all that being said, guys, stay tuned. Holla. Let's start with NFL Week 4 action. All right. So, Lawrence, we'll kick it off to you to do your weekly segment. Last week I called it 2-minute offense, 2-minute drill. I think that's what we're going to go with, unless you have any qualms about that name.
Oh no, we're gonna try to. I guess I'll try to get through it as quick as I can, man.
Yeah, that's the whole point. 2 minutes, you gotta score. We need you to score.
All right. So starting out as quick as we can do this, Jacksonville Falcons. Oh, what a wonderful morning! I made some coffee, had some toast, put a little jelly on it. I was too
Strawberry.
Grape. I'm a grape Welch's guy. Actually, I use that Concord, but anywho, Concord grape jelly on it. I just watched the 17-0 straight out the gate, and I was just all here for it because I told you guys Falcons were not going to go in there and they were not going to have a good time.
Yep.
Unless Heineke came out, it was going to be a whole entire rough experience for them. You saw Matt Collins not shake the hand, not dab the hand of Ritter.
Yeah.
That's kind of the writing on the wall. There's some of them that are still trying to hold out fate and everything, but we kind of know where most guys want to head in a different direction. So I kind of said the Jacksonville Jaguars kind of get their head screwed on straight on this game. I think they did that in a way. I just think the rushing game couldn't get effectively going. That also might have to do with the fact that the Falcons are really just a good rushing team, so the defense knows how to go against that really well. They get to stay another week in London to play the Bills. So we're going to see how they go.
Back-to-back London games. Nice.
I think that's what they're doing. So we'll see how they adapt to that. Let me check real quick just to make sure I'm not moron with that statement. It says 9:30 Jags and Bills. So I'm going to assume that's in London. Maybe that's somewhere else. Regardless, the game that I said was going to be exceptional was Houston Steelers. I stopped watching this game around halftime because there was no point after halftime. Houston absolutely dominated the Steelers. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but C.J. Stroud's post-game press conference when he said he wears W's like a pride of honor because when his Lakers lose, it hurts his soul too. Honestly, that was just golden. It was a golden line from him.
Wise words from a rookie, for sure.
Dude, I mean, he just tells you exactly how it is. Like, he's going out there and playing his hardest. We can see it in the way he's throwing the ball. He literally has, I don't think he's ever gone under 300 yards so far this season. He didn't even have efficient numbers, but he still figured out a way to get it done when it mattered. Kenny Pickett got murdered on his lower leg. Hope everything's okay with him. I did see an interesting stat line. The Steelers since 2021 have not had over a 400-yard game total offense. Starting with the Matt Canada era, the next lowest team has 4 400-yard games total offense.
Wow.
So for 2 years now, they haven't had a 400-yard game. So big ifs coming out of Steelers. Everyone was getting a lot of high hopes. This is basically if the defense doesn't save you, the team is crappy. Next one, Rams Colts. Oh my Lord, Anthony Richardson really made a game of it. Didn't really think it was going to be a game. Anthony Richardson is actually giving me. It's kind of his one of his mentors. Gives me Cam Newton vibes, and the fact that he consistently just. The Panthers, when they had Cam Newton the first season, they didn't really win games, but they were always close in games. And there was
Yep.
always a way in which they could have won the game if they were just a little bit more older, well developed team.
Hmm.
He gives you the same kind of spark in which you think the Colts can pretty much win any game. They stay in every game.
Hmm.
Arguably, they could have won this game. A little bit questionable. I don't know what
Went
the
to
Rams are
OT.
doing. The Rams just completely let off the gas. There was no reason in which this game should have came back the way it was. They were down
Yeah.
23 to nothing halfway through the third. They brought it back. We got to see Matthew Stafford go down the field with a bum ankle, or I think it's a bum hip, but it looked like he was favoring his ankle. That probably just has a chain effect somewhere down the line on the leg. But Matthew Stafford going into the future in the next couple games, that's going to be questionable going, looking at it that way. But
Yeah.
hopefully he's good. Colts, always keep an eye out for him because upset city can always happen with them. Buccaneers Saints, that was absolute pain. I had a 6-game parlay, all money lines, all would have hit. I went with the Saints. I'm arguably an idiot, but maybe don't be greedy, Lawrence. Maybe just don't be greedy. Anyways, Saints blew it. They look awful with Derek Carr. Taysom Hill. Honestly, you should just let him try to start slinging the rock and see what happens. Because Derek Carr, I mean, he's got a bum shoulder. I get it. Can't give him too much blame, but he can't get the ball down the field. Everything's a dink and dunk. Kamara couldn't really get anything going because couldn't run the ball. So all around questionable. Buccaneers. The only thing you're learning is they're fighters. And honestly, I just think the Eagles game was a fluke. I think they're a lot better. I think they should have stayed. I think they should have stayed way more in the Eagles game than they did. I just think it was unlucky for them. I just think it was unlucky. I think they're gonna be a lot better. I think they might run away with the NFC South. Just the way they're built. I think this is like Baker's revenge tour. The Buccaneers as a franchise
like it.
want to prove that it wasn't all Tom Brady, and Baker's trying to prove to everyone in the league, I'm not done yet. So
Yeah.
he's gonna have to. It's gonna be a little questionable for him moving forward without Mike Evans for a few games, but Chris Godwin obviously showed that he could wear the big boy pants and
Yep. Step up
take over from there. So
for sure.
next but not least, Washington Eagles. We knew Washington was gonna fight them hard.
Hell
Now
of a game.
I thought Washington was gonna fight them. It was gonna be the close game when they're in Washington. Nope, Washington decided to do it early this year. Arguably, Washington was up at one point. Now, the one big thing about this game that I want to talk about is I think you can tell that Ron Rivera knows he's on the hot seat because he didn't go for it on the 2-point conversion at the very end of the game.
Yep.
He knew that he had to strategically play for overtime because then it proves that his team was always in there. There was always a chance to win.
Yep.
And honestly, like this is the team that went to the Super Bowl. You gotta try to you gotta let it
end
loose.
them. You gotta end them when you can.
I mean, I say it all the time. Slant routes are so hard to guard, and you got Jahan Dotson who just scored the overtime touchdown. He's amazing at slant routes. You got Curtis Samuel, amazing at slant routes, and you got Terry McLaurin who can go out and get a fade route. All you have to do is throw the ball within a second and a half a second. If both of those guys run slants, one of them's probably open. If the defense tries to focus way too hard on it and they leave McLaurin out by himself on the back corner, toss it up to him, he'll probably get it. There's just so many different things you could have done. I mean, Sam Howell kind of runs the ball a little nice. He's kind of fast with it.
Yeah.
They love the Robinson up the middle. You just fake a Robinson run up the middle and try to bootleg out to the end. Like there were so many different things. I just wanted to see them just go for the end, go for the jugular, because you could just feel it. Even if they had gone to overtime, the Eagles are going to somehow win this game.
Yeah.
So,
it's unfortunate, but they played their ass off. We gotta give that to
the
them.
Commanders deserve all the credit. They covered everyone's spread who they got bet on. So no hate, no nothing. Ravens Browns, Dorian Thompson. I'm sorry, that was a tough opening game. Didn't watch that game at all though, because I was on the Sunday ticket, and that was a blocked out channel. And sorry, not sorry, I wasn't moving over to watch a 28 and It was 21-3 at halftime. I didn't care about it.
No massage Watson. He was out.
Next thing, Titans-Bengals. I stopped watching this game at halftime as well.
Me too.
Once I watched them go up 17-0. Oh, sorry, 17-3. 17-3. Ooh, I didn't know what to do anymore. I was questioning everything, even if there's a God, because I was like, oh my gosh. I was going to pick the Titans to win this game. I put some money, some facts money on the game. But I didn't have the balls to do it in our Pick'em League. I went with the Bengals because I thought it was a safer choice. I just went with the Titans because I wanted to make a little moolah. Titans blew up in my face. It is what it is. Derrick Henry had MVP game. What are you going to do about it? Nothing really you can do.
Nothing really.
He threw for a touchdown, man. Anywho, next thing up, Broncos, Bears. Bears, good job losing. You now have the 1-2 pick in the draft. I feel amazing for you. Hopefully Caleb Williams comes out in the draft, and you can have that Marvin Harrison Jr. and Caleb Williams 1-2 punch back to back.
That's deadly. That sounds good.
Justin Fields, sorry, man. It's not completely your fault. It really isn't.
Not. He had a hell of a game.
You're like 75% to blame as well. You're not full to blame, but you do some dumb things. You know what? I'll be nice to you. You're like 65% of the blame. No, actually, I'll be nice. You're like 50% of the blame. Anywho, that time it was your defense that let you down, but you also let your defense down by not doing anything in the second half, like at all. Last but not least, pains me to say it, Panthers, Vikings, good job. Actually, no, not really. Panthers didn't have J.C. Horn. They didn't have Dante Jackson because the man's a bum made of glass. Bones, don't even know. Not going to lie. It was impressive to watch Justin Jefferson low-key get shut down by Damius Jameson. Or Deshaun Jameson.
He was cooking. He had 2 TDs. Come on now. He was cooking.
Okay. Once Jameson got on him, he didn't cook it no more. So, maybe they should have made that adjustment earlier on. Like I said, Dante Jackson's a bum. I can't believe we kept him over Bradbury. Bryce Young's just too small. It's too small.
Hate to see it.
I'm wondering when I can enter free agency for a new football team. Chargers. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I didn't watch any of the 4:00 games. I didn't. I couldn't. I just wasn't. I didn't feel any of them.
Your heart just wasn't in it. Okay. I'll take over the 4:00 games.
I was just depressed, man.
Yeah, I understand that completely coming from the debacle of the Cincinnati game, but what can we say? We're in the running for Marvin Harrison Jr. You, unfortunately, I don't know what Carolina's going to do with their draft, but anyway, we'll go over the 4:00 games. Starting with the Chargers, it was surprisingly like a entertaining game. I think Aiden O'Connell is a rookie, right? He actually played decent. He didn't have any touchdowns, as you can see, but 1 interception. That's probably the game right there. I mean, that 1 turnover probably could have been a score. Chargers, win by 7. Herbie didn't have that great of a game. He only threw for 167.
He had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yes, he did. If you guys don't know, Mike Williams is out, so it was pretty much the Keenan Allen and Palmer show. But I mean, what can you ask for? I mean, it's division game. Stakes were high. Both teams know each other, so it's not surprising that this ended in kind of like a low scoring game. 17-24 isn't. It's like a mid game, very mid, I would say. Moving on to the next game. Pats, them boys. I had this game on my iPad because I had 2 games on my monitors. This game was just an ass whooping. Like, it was so bad. Daddy Belichick had to bench Mac Jones and Pitt and Bailey Zappi, and he didn't do too much better. I mean, the defense of the Cowboys is just insane. And it's crazy because in the Pick'em league that we're in, I actually picked the Patriots because I was like, The one thing the Cowboys,
I did too.
The one thing the Cowboys, and I said this last week, I was like, hey, their one weakness is running the ball, and they didn't fucking run the ball. All right, I don't know what happened. Ramondre Stevenson had 14 Ks for 30 yards. It just seems like the Patriots just forgot how to run the ball. And you would think Zeke's revenge game, he would maybe ball out a little bit, but 6 carries for 16 yards is just unacceptable. And Mac Jones was just turning the ball over too much. So, I mean, he didn't need too much from Dak. He only had one throwing touchdown. I mean, it was just a butt whooping. It was a butt whooping. That was one of the worst ones I've seen. And surprisingly, the Cardinals 49ers was an entertaining game early on because it was kind of close. But, I mean, 49ers are just too good. CMC, I said in the beginning of the year, this man's going to win Offensive Player of the Year. He's probably in the lead, if not second. I mean, you probably throw in whoever, Tua, Tyreek, or even Justin Jefferson. But
I mean, he kind of should be in the MVP race as well.
That as well. He's definitely in that as well. But if he doesn't get MVP, then this man is definitely going to get Offensive Player of the Year at the pace that he's playing. I mean, this man's hurling guys and keep on going like he's an Olympic hurler. Like he's just like not missing a beat. He can run, he can catch, he's just a Swiss Army knife of the best quality. So like, yeah, Cardinals, you've been playing well so far. Yeah, you won one game, but I mean, I wouldn't feel bad about losing kind of badly to the 49ers once they actually put the pedal to the metal. So
it was so sad. I had the spread. I had the Cardinals spread.
I'm sorry.
The Cardinals should have scored a touchdown in the last drive. Zach Ertz missed a wide open touchdown, and Hollywood Brown missed a wide open touchdown. Both of them dropped the ball in the end zone. So
yeah, they both.
Neither one of them were even affected by defensive players. So that's the most saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. So props to you, Cardinals. Don't even want to cover your spreads now. You were pretty much golden for it, but it's fine. It's whatever.
And last game of Sunday. Oh,
the most
Night Football.
The most rigged game all year.
Zach Wilson's best NFL game. I tweeted it from the account. I was like, hey, this is his best NFL game thus far. People like Lawrence is going to say it's rigged.
Oh, 100%.
I think Zach Wilson actually made a lot of really good throws, and it seemed like he was actually competent for once. So I would definitely say it's a fluke game. But Ronnie Harrison, you gotta do better, brother. Like, why are you roasting the guy on national TV in front of another NFL player? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's just unprofessional. And you're an ex-NFL player too. You play at a pretty high level, man. Like, why are you trashing this guy? Like, the kid's already getting so much shit and flack from national media and then the local New York media. Like, he doesn't need you like enticing another player to like trash him as well. Like, and then props to Chris Jones for like not falling for it and like trying to uplift Zach and say that. I mean, he was saying the truth. Zach played well.
I mean, in my opinion, the refs rigged it for the Chiefs to win. They did. I mean, you can go rewatch the game. Like, Sauce Gardner did not hold him. He didn't hold him.
Okay.
And the ref only threw the flag after the Jets player had caught the ball and intercepted it. He wasn't going to call it. He wasn't going to call the holding. But then once he saw the guy catch the ball, that it was going to be an interception, he was like, oh, wait, that means the Jets are going to get the ball back. I must throw this flag in order for this not to happen. Because they got to make sure that all the Swiftie fans stay in tune with the NFL. Because they're getting all these jersey sales, and the Chiefs are now like such a big fat market team that like everyone's gonna watch it for fucking Taylor Swift every single game. So stupid.
It is.
And you're gonna have guys who are having like the games of their lives. Like Zach Wilson literally had one of the best games ever. Their defense for the Jets was having one of the best games ever after the first quarter.
Yep.
And the refs just took it all away from him. Like when the Patrick Mahomes scramble when he was 3rd and 22, you literally can rewatch the play, and there's a Jets player going like this, waving his arms because his jersey's being pulled over his head. He's being held so bad They don't call it. They don't call it.
Yeah,
They just
it's
don't call it. It's just
obvious.
so dumb.
The
And
script. The script is
and they
in.
throw the flag just in case Mahomes doesn't get the first down, because they throw the flag once the guy starts charging in on Mahomes. In case he doesn't get the first down, we're gonna throw this flag so they automatically get a first down. It was so rigged. Like it was.
The script is in, y'all. I mean, they've been doing this for the Chiefs for years, man. I mean, I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, but like, I think the script is in. I feel like the Chiefs do get preferential treatment. Cost the Bengals the AFC Championship win. It's cost the Eagles a Super Bowl. Like, it's just too many games. It's like I don't know. It's just too common to like not think it's like a coincidence. I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it in the past, but it wasn't until this game where it was just like, you know what they were doing. They were like, oh, we can't have all the Taylor Swift fans go. Why are the Chiefs losing to like the worst
Jets.
team? The worst
Yeah.
team without Aaron Rodgers. This can't be happening.
And it's crazy because the game was like 4 million less than like the last game that the Chiefs played. So it's like, what?
And all it was Zach Wilson having the game of his life, and just gets taken away from him. And I'm not even going to say anything else, but like Michael Carter threw a temper tantrum on the sidelines the week before, and then right before halftime, Michael Carter is the one that dropped a wide open ball in the middle, going across the middle.
Yes.
Like, dude, you throw a temper tantrum, and then you're the reason why they lost. Because, no offense, you would have moved the ball 10 yards forward, and that field goal attempt would have been 10 yards closer, and he wouldn't have doinked it.
Yep.
So, there's your 3 points right there as well. That would have made it 23-23 in theory, but, thanks, Michael Carter. You also are part of the problem, so... You want to throw your temper tantrums, but don't throw your temper tantrum if you're not actually going to help your boy out when he has a good game. Because all I saw was Garrett Wilson, completely constantly going over to Zach Wilson, slapping him on the ass and telling him, dude, great game. Like, dude, we're in this thing. Like, it's all because of you. Like,
I mean, it was good. And Zach Wilson, I mean, this buys him some more time. Robert Saleh is going to have to keep riding the hot. I mean, he had a hot hand, so he's going to keep riding it. We'll see if they picked up Trevor Siemian, but he's not really a competent. So we'll see how
Denver
long.
next. They get Denver next.
So maybe they win if Zach plays another well placed game. But we'll see how long. It definitely buys them another couple weeks, I feel like. So, Before we go, just want to touch on my Bengals. It's not looking too good, guys. If you're fans out there, I think I was telling people at work today. The nail isn't in the coffin, but damn it, the coffin door is on, and the nail is about to be put on. I think Ocho said last night on him, the show of him on Unc Nightcap. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I agree with him, but to a degree, I feel like 1-3 is a hole we can possibly dig ourselves out of, but a 1-4 hole, 1-5 hole, like there's no coming back, man. I feel like at that point it's a wasted season. It's hard to win games in a row, let alone 11 or 12. Like, I think you're asking too much of Joe Burrow to just go out there and dig out of a 1-4 hole by like going, 11-1 or 10-1 or 11-0. Like, it's just too much. So, Zach Taylor, the play calling's been really bad. Still running every single play out of gun, besides maybe a few here and there. It's too predictable. Play calling is too limited. And of course, defenses that are good like the Titans are just going to blitz you and send multiple guys because Joe can't move. So what is he going to do? Check down. Routes aren't going to develop in time. And then the offense is just not fluid. So it's all pretty predictable stuff, but our head coach is kind of an idiot. So we just have to keep riding it out and hope Joe can beat the Cardinals. The way they're playing, I don't know, to be honest. Not 75% Joe, not 70% Joe. He might not be able to get it, might not make it happen. So, and the run defense is just atrocious. Like, took a huge step down, even though we kept our defensive line intact. I just don't know what the hell's happening. It's not looking good. Anything to add, Lawrence?
I don't think you get you can't enter NFL free agency fan
No.
free
I
agency
plan on
yet.
doing NBA fan free agency, but that's another topic.
I don't know, man. The Heat have been good for the last couple seasons. It's too early. You got to be on a cursed franchise in which hasn't done anything in over 10 years. And coming on 2 years, the Panthers will be dog shit. So, um, I guess I need to find a new NBA team. I never had one. I never really have
We'll help
had
you
one.
find one.
I've kind of gotten a hockey team. I like the Seattle Kraken just because I really only recently got into hockey. It was their first year of hockey, so it just kind of felt like had all the makings for me to start liking them because it was my first time really watching them,
You're a day
and
one
because
fan.
always try to trying to make my money back at the end of the night or make some more money at the end of the night. So they were always playing. So, yeah, who knows? But the Marlins, they made the MLB postseason, so
They did, yes.
I'll be looking out for them. Hopefully, they can get past the Phillies. I don't have high hopes. Our pitching unit is kind of decimated, but that's the greener pastures I get to look at because I'm not gonna lie. I don't even think I'm gonna watch any of the Carolina Lions game. Hopefully, if I don't watch, maybe they'll do good. Maybe I just
Yeah.
have to watch highlights. Maybe that's just how it has to be.
That's how I feel about Cincinnati. If I don't watch them play, they usually do well. So good luck to you on that. But that's the end of our recap. Monday Night Football is tonight, so you won't hear anything from us about that. But you will hear from us about Rapid Fire. So we will recap college football week 5 and then go over this last blockbuster trade of the Dame Lillard saga. All right, everyone, so stay tuned, we're back. Let's get into this rapid fire, shall we? First up, ba-dum. We got NFL, or not NFL, Jesus. We got college football week 5. We had a couple big games. Let's start off with a big 12 o'clock game, a big 12 p.m. game, Colorado, USC. We all thought, what was going to happen last week when they played Oregon was going to happen again. It kind of looked like it first half, but I don't know what Prime said to them at halftime, but they definitely came out and kicked USC's ass and almost came back to win. Lawrence, you got any thoughts?
I just think USC doesn't have any defense.
Yeah.
I think that was like just kind of showed the whole world USC is completely beatable. You just play any lick of defense. I'm still not sold on Colorado. I don't think I'll ever get maybe it's because I bet on Colorado in so many different legs, parlays, to cover their spread against Oregon, but I can't ever go back to you. I can't ever have really good faith in you. You came back on USC, and dude, we've seen plenty of teams backdoor cover on USC. They don't care. They were up so far, they didn't care. That's all I really have to say on that. I mean, USC is never going to be. USC is going to have to be one of those teams in which their offense just has to keep putting their hand on the throat and trying to choke you out. But they just didn't show up the entire fourth quarter, mainly because Colorado just kept having the ball. So,
yeah, I mean, hell of a game from Shedeur. Definitely, I don't think he matched Caleb Williams, throw for throw, but I mean, he did probably 80% of what Caleb did. Caleb's just another beast. But Shedeur is definitely probably the second or third best quarterback in this class. So shout out to him. You're right, USC doesn't have defense, but it was just Colorado was just getting the ass kicked. So usually a team would fold, right? But even against a porous USC defense, they still fought back and, like I said, backdoor covered and covered the over for the game as well. So shout out to them if you place a bet on that.
The real game of the weekend was LSU versus Ole Miss.
Okay.
Anyone who bet the over on that game, I mean, props to you. I mean, they broke the over in the second quarter. So, the only thing I have to say is, dude, Ole Miss, where was this last week against Alabama?
Last week. Yeah. What the hell?
I mean, we had faith in you last week against Alabama, and your offense was just horrible. But watching this game, Ole Miss and LSU both can't tackle. They can't tackle.
Yeah.
Defenses, they can't tackle.
Yeah. I don't know what happened with that game, but
and then Good job by Iowa Hawkeyes to do some backdoor covering in the last 3 minutes to cover that 10-point spread. Duke,
Notre Dame,
Notre
good
Dame
game.
got lucky. Refs helped them out a lot at the very end. Some highly questionable stuff on that final drive by Notre Dame. Bailed out, I think, what was it, 3 times in order to get something jump started for them.
Not on the final drive. I think it was just boom, boom, boom. But
no, when the drives first started on their own half at the very beginning, Duke had them 3 and out, had them, and then they called Duke for a bull crap call. Again, it was looking bleak. It was like 2nd and long. They called Duke for some bullshit again, even though he did just.
Okay, I thought it was a hell of a game. Definitely was close. So that's good. Pretty much. I mean, I didn't watch too much college football this past weekend. It was just busy with work and other stuff. But anything you have to say about this Georgia Auburn game? I know Brock Bowers pretty much had the walk-off touchdown, right? Or the touchdown to seal the game.
Auburn forgot how to tackle on the final drive, or not even the final drive. Auburn just forgot how to tackle in the fourth quarter, even though they tackled great all the fourth quarter. You should watch that touchdown back of the guy running down the field. Like 3 guys lunged at him and made horrible attempts to make the tackle.
Yeah.
I think some Auburn players had the over and their spread, so I think they let him score that touchdown on purpose.
And Cam was in the stands. He was welcomed back to Auburn. Maybe that gave him enough inspiration and hope that they can actually go toe to toe for Georgia. I mean, it was a tough game either way, but I didn't expect it to be a 1-score game. Did you?
Yeah, I did. So I had actually taken Auburn under 14.5, and I took under 46.5 was the over and under spread. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm on the bandwagon of watching all those Auburn Tigers play good all game, and then the final drive, just none of them even attempted to tackle my man's. He just had guys lunge at him like this. No wrap up in sight. They just wanted to make you look like they were going to try to tackle him.
You hate to see it, y'all. You hate to see it. I think that's it. The only other thing, shout out to my Hokies. Finally had an impressive win. They beat Pitt, I believe, on Saturday. So shout out to them. Coach Pry. To me, he's still in my hot seat. I still have some questions about him. So we'll see if he can string some wins together, because Tech should definitely be better than what they're playing right now. You know?
Yeah.
All right.
100% agree with you.
Yeah. Moving on, let's get into some NBA details. Today was NBA Media Day. You know, training camp starts tomorrow. Some teams are here stateside. Some teams like the Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavs are, outside the country in Abu Dhabi. They have training camp over there. They're going to have some games over there as well. But anyway, the last part of the Dame saga has ended, y'all. Drew Holiday, the last piece, got traded to the Celtics. The C's pulled off like thieves in the night. A little bit of an overpay, if you ask me. But Lawrence, I'll let you start first. How do you feel about not only this trade, first the trade, but secondly, how do you feel about the East? A very early look at the East in terms of where all the teams in the East stand.
Well, I'm really excited about seeing the new Jimmy Butler, the emo phase Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Rocking the Jimmy jersey, you already know.
Yeah. Did you like the emo?
Hey man, I think enough has just happened this summer that it would drive anyone to go emo. So I totally understand, and who knows, I might straighten my hair tomorrow and be right there with him.
Yep. I'm totally down for it. I think that they've had a lot of rough patches.
Very rough.
I thought James Harden didn't want to play for the 76ers, but apparently he will be back at camp. I don't know.
He wasn't at media day, so I don't know about that.
Oh, well, that's what the reports are, that he'll somehow make it back to the team before the start of the season. So, um, I guess I'll be interested to see that. I guess we'll also be interested to see if James Harden comes in another fat suit or, you know, whatever it takes to get off the team. He's like one of those dudes where, instead of like just telling the girl that he doesn't want to be with them anymore, he just finds every possible way to make himself be like the most horrible human being ever in order to make them just move off of him themselves.
Yeah.
Perfect definition of James Harden.
Love it.
The East, how do I think it pans out? Well, the Celtics, so it's a little questionable in my opinion. Like who's gonna play, big minutes? I'm sorry, big minutes for the Celtics. Now, I mean, I get it. Time Lord barely played anyways. I was always hurt. But at least there was always that idea and thought he would play those big minutes. But
yeah,
does Holiday immediately move into the starting rotation?
Hell yeah.
Okay, you say hell yeah, but how is it effectively going to work? Like, is Tatum just not going to play defense and he's going to focus on offense now? Is Brown going to be the one to focus on offense? Because Holiday doesn't have to focus on offense now. Like, Holiday's gonna go in there. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, you guys are supposed to be like the 1-2 who are like really good. Y'all are getting paid all that money, so y'all go do all that scoring. I'm gonna go be a lockdown god over here.
Yeah.
Completely down for it, but just a lot of open-ended questions on that. No offense though, but poor Malcolm Brogdon. He was just used as bait. If I'm Brogdon, I probably don't even want to pay. I don't even want to play with the Trailblazers, but he ain't gonna have a choice. He's gonna have to play with them. So
they're gonna try and flip him.
No, dude, they can't be but so bad now. They can't let themselves be but so bad. As for Time Lord, I don't know who's gonna try to move on to him in order to get some kind of, because he didn't play anyways.
They said so far they'll try to keep him.
Anywho, I think the surprise team in the East will be I know it shouldn't be technically thought of as a surprise, but I will say it as a surprise, like the Nets. Part of us only thought the Nets were in the playoffs at the end of the season because of basically where they had to start from and where they had to finish.
Yeah.
I just kind of think they're going to win a bunch of games. I think they're just like one of those kind of like a pit bull fighter team in which they're just going to rattle off enough wins to get 6th or a 5th seed again, but they have enough depth and they have enough, skilled players and role players, and the chemistry wise, they seem really good.
Yeah,
as a whole group. Maybe that is because like half the team is the Phoenix Suns, the former Phoenix Suns. So, outside coming out of the East though, I don't see like any shocker teams that we don't think are gonna they shouldn't be there from the beginning of the season. I think the Thunder. Oh no, they're the West. Every time I think the Thunder, I always think they should be in the East. No, I don't really. Maybe the Magic push for play-in spot. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
might be far out, but I think the Magic had the ability to push for something. They did look good in multiple games last year. Maybe with another year, a little bit more players. Maybe not so much top heaviness in the East as it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, I think to start talking about East early contenders and pretenders, Bucks and Celtics are in a class of their own. They're just the two juggernauts. They're probably they're in the top 4 teams in the whole league. Them and the Nuggets and the Suns and the Lakers. They're all in their league of their own. So that's that. And then we gotta look at the second tier, which is gonna be, you already said, the Nets, the Cavs. Throw Miami in there, throw the Sixers in there. They're gonna be competitive with each other, but in terms of overall competitiveness, like I wouldn't expect a conference finals appearance unless injuries happen to the top 2 teams, the season and the Bucks. But in terms of the trade, like I said, I think it was an overpay by the Celtics, but I think they needed to get the deal done. because any other team could have swooped in. Like Sixers could have swooped in. Like I don't know, maybe they throw out James Harden and the rest of the picks they have, and Portland says, okay, then we'll flip James Harden, and then Portland. I mean, it's still fuck Joe Cronin, but he definitely did better than I thought. Last week I said like, hey, the return isn't all that great unless he can get 2 picks for Drew Holiday, and I didn't think he could. Well, he did. So shout out to him. It was actually a good deal for him. He got Time Lord as well, which he's keeping for now, but he can easily flip for another first round pick. Time Lord's definitely a good center. He is injury prone, like you said, Lawrence, but when he does play, he's good. He can cover all 5, gets blocks, can rebound. And like we saw in the conference finals, he's a little offensive juggernaut. So if you give him the ball, off putbacks or just easy oops, he can finish at the rim. So, and then they got Malcolm Brogdon. He's an unfortunate loser in this whole situation, just because he's not going to play because they have so many young guards. He's not going to play, but also everyone knows that he's injured, so it's going to be hard to kind of move him. So the Blazers might have to take one of those picks and move him because he obviously doesn't have a place on the Blazers. So it sucks to be Malcolm Brogdon. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Portland will buy him out. Who knows if they can't find some type of deal for him. But the C's, they made out pretty well. They were really gonna, like we said it when the trade happened. When they traded Marcus Smart, we both said, hey, they lost the soul of their team, and they lost their only like real point guard. Derek White can play point guard, but he's not the best. But they lost the guy who was their lockdown defender, their defensive player of the year, their heart and soul. Now they have the Bucks' old heart and soul, and he's just gonna fit right in. He's going to fit right into that Marcus Smart role, but this is a guy who can actually play point guard. This is a guy who actually averages about 7 assists for his career. This is a guy who ran the Bucks offense when it wasn't in Giannis's hands. This is a guy who can get you 20 and 10 assists. He can do that. Now, you're going to have to convince him not to retire because he's definitely contemplating it. So you're going to have to make a huge playoff push, but in terms of how he fits with the C's, he's what they needed. I mean, we said it. They needed a true point guard, and they have a true point guard who's also an all-NBA defender. So I like the C's right now, and I hate to say it, but I like them more than the Bucks. I feel like they're 1A and the Bucks are 1B. But the Bucks did pick up Cameron Payne, so I feel like that's a good backup point guard to have, who can also start if Dame gets hurt a lot. So they'll sit him too, so he can fit right in as well. But yeah, also other NBA news. I think Devin Vassell for the Spurs got a huge extension, like 4 years or 4 or 5 years for like 150. So shout out to him. That was good.
I mean, he's a pretty good role player. He's definitely steps up for the Spurs. The only thing I say is if he's on a different team, how much impact does he have? Or is it just because of the team that he's on? Is he part of the system, But regardless, I think he helps Wemby's transition into the league really easy.
I think so as well. Also, he's good to bet on. He's pretty consistent, pretty reliable for betting numbers. So I always, during the NBA season, he's always in a parlay, or sometimes I'll just take his straights. Like, they always be hitting y'all for the most part. So be on the lookout for that when NBA season starts. But that's pretty much it. That's all I have for rapid fire. Anything you want to add, Lawrence, before we head on out?
Nope. I got a football game to watch and a dog to throw the ball for.
100% understand that. Have a lot of other work to do. Got a lot of work dumped on me this week, so gotta go work some OT, y'all. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. This is the MTL Sports Podcast, episode 42, and we will see you on Wednesday. Peace, y'all.